not going to fall down, man.
Everyone, back!
It's not going to fall down, man.
That being the said,
can you please move back, everybody? Anybody who is speaking to the building, they need to ring 999. There is a dedicated line for this incident, okay?
Gone to the front door, I've looked through the spiral and there's smoke everywhere. And I hear screaming. I've opened the door, I'm just in my boxer shorts. And his neighbours were running down and says there's a fireman. They're going, get out of the house. I ran back in, I've grabbed a little girl, put her under my dressing gown, that's all I had on. Got my girlfriend up, ran outside, and then looked up, and it was just a blaze. Everything, you know, it was an absolute nightmare. It was like something out of a horror movie.
You can hear people.
I live down there, about a 5-minute walk away, and we could hear people screaming, help me, and flashing their phone lights to let people know that they were there.
An unprecedented incident. In my 29 years of being a firefighter, I have never ever seen anything of this scale. Based on the level of resource that was needed at this fire, we declared this a major incident very early this morning.
move less than 2 inches. That being said, I'm going to move to here. Did Building 7 collapse from fires? And the answer is no. UAF finding shows that the girder bearing at column 79 moved less than 2 inches. It would not have been a problem. It did not have a problem in lateral buckling, not using their fires.
This building, as you'll see in the evidentiary hearings tomorrow, dropped like a rock straight down uniformly, symmetrically into its own footprint in under 7 seconds at free fall acceleration. Dr. Halsey just proved that that cannot happen by fire. That means all of academic institutions across this country and around the world have been lied to.
It limits
Opposite of 9/11, 2 buildings in 48 hours engulfed in flames, neither collapse into own footprint. London's Grenfell Tower burned for over 24 hours, a massive and deadly blaze so intense, it swiftly charred nearly the entire 1,000 unit structure, consuming newly installed aluminum outer panels and virtually anything in its path, leaving at least 17 dead, injuring scores more, and igniting a political firestorm in the process. But the 24-story building, its apartments gutted beyond repair, did not crumble into its own footprint. It's still standing. In fact, according to several reports from the fire brigade on scene, several small fires inside Grenfell Tower remain smoldering well into today. The residential building's charred sarcophagus now being investigated to determine cause, meaning firefighters adhering to stringent safety precautions are perusing the severely crippled structure. And it still hasn't collapsed, nor should it have, because that would be nearly unprecedented. Nearly. That the silhouette of Grenfell Tower still graces the skyline above its upscale neighborhood demands a telling comparison to a structure, World Trade Center Tower 7, which free fell into its own footprint, as putative experts claimed in conclusion of investigations into the attacks of September 11, 2001. Building 7, or WTC 7, has featured prominently in so-called conspiracy theories pertaining to the attacks, as it stands, pardon the pun, one of the only steel-framed, concrete structures to have supposedly succumbed to office fires and collapsed straight to the ground, disintegrating into a pile of rubble. Of course, why and how Building 7 collapsed, at all, remains a subject fraught with disputation. The 47-floor office complex experienced several smaller fires, as it sat in the shadow of the Twin Towers, which had taken direct hits from 2 commercial airlines flown by terrorists intent on bringing the buildings down. but just 7 hours into the myriad conflagrations, the office tower suddenly went into free fall, descending in seconds to its grave, despite a steel frame undamaged by airplanes or other falling structures, baffling countless architects and engineers. At 5:20 p.m., the 47-story WTC-7 fell completely and symmetrically into its own footprint in the manner of a textbook-controlled demolition, architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth wrote earlier this year. 7 years later, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, concluded that the collapse was due to normal office fires, which had never before brought down a steel frame high-rise. But today thousands of architects and engineers are calling for a new investigation. While the suggestion the building more likely suffered a surreptitious, controlled demolition might seem conducive to tinfoil hats, the fact WTC-7 did not appear to experience major structural damage prior to its crumbling has not been sufficiently explained, to this day. Because, the fact remains, towering structures, even those constructed back in the 1970s, like Grenfell Tower, circa 1974, were engineered and built according to specifications, ensuring even all-consuming fires could still facilitate escape to safety by as many people as possible. Indeed, steel-framed high-rises should endure veritably anything, and while Grenfell Tower apparently lacked building-wide smoke detectors and sprinkler systems among other ultimately fatal scrimps, the structure's extensive fire damage did not cause an additional catastrophic collapse. All 83 structural, vertical support columns, as architects and engineers from New Zealand noted, would have to have been severed at the same time to force such a collapse. Were reports concluding Building 7 fell to the ground because office fires truly accurate, Grenfell Tower, consumed with intensely hot flames, estimated between 700 and 1000 degrees centigrade, for over a day, should have suffered a similar fate, falling into its own footprint, 24 floors crushing into one another on its way to the ground. It didn't, nor did the address downtown Dubai, when an electrical fire set alight the 63-story structure, igniting a colossal inferno on New Year's Eve in 2015. The address didn't collapse. In fact, it's not only still standing, its structural integrity remained intact enough to be restored and is in use today. Another monstrous fire in a Lanzhou skyscraper, in China's Gansu province, last Sunday also failed to demolish the building. Building 7, thus, stands as a veritable lone testament, a sore thumb among numerous other all-consuming blazes tragically taking human, but not structural, victims. So, while Grenfell Tower's burnt-out frame still haunts the London area skyline, its demolishment seems likely only to come from a planned, structural, controlled demolition, should one be planned. Yet, World Trade Center 7, which incidentally housed offices of the CIA, the IRS, the U.S. Secret Service, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and other prominent government and banking establishments, will never again grace new postcards displaying the iconic skyline of New York City.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea, too, that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.